The final week of the NFL season is here, week 18. Please play along and post your picks in the comments section. Last week I was 12-4 straight up and 8-7-1 against the spread. Let's see what 2024 has in store. The NFL starts off the final week of the 2023 season with a pair of divisional rivalries, starting with Pittsburgh traveling to Baltimore to play the Ravens. Baltimore is a 4-point home dog and the over-under is 37.5. While Baltimore has not officially come out and said that they will rest starters, they probably will. Mason Rudolph will get the start for Pittsburgh. A surprise to me, but I always liked Rudolph. Pittsburgh stays alive in the playoff hunt. Steelers 21, Ravens 16. The late Saturday game is a win and in with the possibility of winning the AFC South as the Texans travel to Indy to play the Colts. Indy is a 1-point favorite and over-under is 47.5. I had a really hard time picking this game. Usually home field advantage against a rookie quarterback would have me thinking Colts, and I was going with Indy, but over the last 4 games, the Texans have given up only 252 yards rushing combined. That's 63 yards allowed on the ground a game over the last 4 games. And as much as I like Gardner Minshew, I simply think Stroud is better. Even though he's only a rookie, he will lead the Texans to the playoffs. Houston 27, Indy 23. A recent scientific study has proven aliens anal probe non-subscribers to DanTalksFootball 369% more than subscribers. Prevent getting anal probed by aliens and subscribe. Now Sunday's games. We start with one of my favorite rivalries as Atlanta travels down to New Orleans to play the Saints. New Orleans is a 3.5-point favorite and over-under is 41.5. Both teams are still alive in the playoff hunt, but both teams need to win and get some help to get into the playoffs. Tyler Heineke is questionable, but I do believe he will get the start. When these two teams played 6 weeks ago, the Falcons ran for 228 yards in a 24-15 win. Saints don't let that happen again. They get revenge. New Orleans 20, Atlanta 16. The other NFC South game is the Bucks traveling to Carolina to play the Panthers. Carolina is a 5-point home dog and the over-under is 37.5. If Tampa wins, they win the division and clinch a home playoff game. If they lose, the winner of Saints-Falcons wins the playoff spot and the Bucks will stay home. I'm dying to pick Carolina, but after getting shut out last week in Jacksonville, I think that they're just waiting for the 2024 season. Tampa wins the NFC South. I got Bucks 24, Panthers 9. Next up is an AFC East rivalry battling for draft positioning as the Jets travel to New England to play the Patriots. New England is a 2.5-point favorite and over-under is 31. That is correct, 31. Partly because of the weather, partly because, well, you know. I believe Trevor Siemian will get the start, while I actually have been very impressed with Bailey Zappi. The Patriots will hurt their draft position. New England 20, Jets 12. Yes, take over 31. Next up is the battle for Ohio as Cleveland invades Cincinnati to play the Bengals. Cincy is a 5-point favorite and over-under is 38.5. The Browns will rest starters, including quarterback Joe Flacco, as Cleveland has locked up the 5th seed and will play the AFC South winner in the playoffs. I believe Jeff Driscoll will get the start quarterback, but I'm not 100% sure on that. Bengals win this one, Cincy 24, Cleveland 14. Next up is an AFC South showdown as the Jags travel to Tennessee to play the Titans. Tennessee is a 5.5-point home dog with the over-under at 39.5. Jacksonville with a win wins the AFC South. However, if they lose, they can still make the playoffs, but will need to get some help. Both Trevor Lawrence and Will Levis are questionable, but I believe both will start. I'm dying to pick the Titans, and they still cover, but Jacksonville will win the South. I got Jags 23, Titans 19. Next up is an NFC North matchup with the Vikings traveling to Detroit to play the Lions. Detroit is a 5-point favorite and over-under is 46. Detroit Detroit is king of the North and currently the 3 seed with the chance to be the 2 with a Cowboys loss. Minnesota with 3 straight losses can still make the playoffs but need a lot of help. As I am making this video, it's unknown who the Vikings quarterback is, but I'm leaning towards Mullins. Even if the Lions rest some players, I still like Detroit. Lions 27, Vikings 20. For the first taste of afternoon delight, we have the other NFC North matchup with the Bears traveling to the frozen tundra to play the Packers. Green Bay is a 3-point favorite and over-under is 44. Out of the 4 teams still alive for the final NFC wildcard spot, only Green Bay is winning in. With a win, Green Bay will clinch the 7th seed, and with a loss, things would get creative. Chicago has won 4 out of the last 5, and since coming back from injury, Justin Fields has played really well. Out of the last 5 games, the Bears defense has only allowed 76 points total. That's an average of 15.2 points a game. The Packers, on the other hand, have scored 33 points in each of their last 2 wins. I like defense and a solid ground game on the road. Bring the chaos! Bears in an upset. Chicago 23, Packers 22. Next up is an AFC West matchup with the Broncos traveling to Vegas to play the Raiders. The Raiders are a 2.5-point favorite and over-under is 38. While both teams are out of the playoffs, both teams have played well down the stretch. Jared Stidham will make his 2nd start while the Raiders continue to evaluate both Aiden O'Connell and intern head coach Antonio Pierce. I expect this game to be entertaining but low scoring. I like Vegas at home. Raiders 16, Broncos 13. For the other AFC West matchup, we have the Chiefs traveling to LA to play the Chargers. The Chargers are a 2-point favorite and over-under is 36. While Andy Reid has not announced he is resting starters as I am making this video, Andy Reid will rest players. The Chargers have an interesting offseason coming up. Easton Stick has played well the last 2 games, and since Staley has been fired, the defense has looked a lot better. LA ends the season on a good note. Chargers 24, Chiefs 20. Next up is an NFC West matchup with Seattle traveling to the desert to play the Cardinals. Arizona is a 3-point home dog with the over-under at 48. The only way Seattle can make the playoffs is to win, and Green Bay needs to lose. Arizona winning in Philly last week is trying to mess up their draft status, but seriously speaking, since Kyler Murray has come back, Arizona is 3-4, and except for Chicago, all 4 of the losses have come against teams with a winning record. I went back and forth on this one for a bit, but with a chance to make the playoffs, Seattle gets it done. Seahawks 24, Cardinals 23. In the other NFC West game, the Rams travel to San Francisco to play the Niners. San Fran is a 3.5-point favorite and over-under is 42.5. The 49ers will be resting players while the Rams may or may not. LA has clinched a playoff spot and with a loss could be the 7th seed, but with a win would lock up the 6th seed. With San Francisco locking up home field, I fully expect the Rams to win. LA 27, San Fran 20. Next up is an old school NFC East rivalry as Dallas travels to Washington to play the Commanders. Washington is a 13-point home dog with the over-under at 45.5. Dallas with a win clinches the NFC East and the 2 seed. If Dallas loses and Philly wins, they will end up being the 5 seed and have to travel for the playoffs. Washington, I believe, will start Sam Howell, but truth be told, I really don't think it matters. Cowboys 31, Commanders 17. For the final afternoon game, Philly travels to New York to play the Giants. New York is a 5-point home dog with the over-under at 41. Tyrod Taylor played awesome last week against the Rams, and truth be told, he should have been the starter all along for the Giants. The Eagles can still win the East and get the 2 seed if Dallas loses to Washington, but it's unlikely that happens. I still see the Eagles winning, however. Philly 23, New York 20. Sunday night football is a good one as Buffalo travels to Miami. Miami is a 3-point home dog and over-under is 50.5. Here is one of the craziest playoff scenarios I have ever seen. If Buffalo wins, they get the 2 seed, lose, and they are out. That is correct. They are completely out. It's either 2 or none. If Miami wins, they get the 2 seed, lose, they drop to 6, and they travel to Arrowhead as Kansas City has the 3 seed already locked up. I don't see the Bills losing this one. Buffalo 34, Miami 21. on. If you have been watching my channel for a while, you know that since the college football playoffs were announced, I said the winner of Michigan-Alabama will win the national championship, even though Michael Penix did something only done by some obscure quarterback who probably won't even play Sunday, and Romo Duze is my biggest draft crush. If you like the NFL draft, right after the Super Bowl, this channel becomes Draft Central, so if you like the NFL draft, tune in. So it'll be no surprise who my pick is to win the national championship, except when it is. I've changed my mind. Washington 37, Michigan 31. As someone who hates the cold but has been to Arrowhead for over 300 games, I have some great tips for you to stay warm if you're attending a game, especially in January. Check this video out here. Don't forget, I go live every Tuesday and Friday, 7 p.m. Central on the live stream. All questions are answered and anything goes. Join the live stream and get anything answered live. I can't wait to see you and see what your picks are for the final week of the NFL season, and let me know who wins Monday night between Washington and Michigan. I can't wait to see you again, hopefully very soon.